Korean cars are a no longer joke of the town anymore as it was 15 to 20 years ago, with poor quality and reliability. Due to reputation marred by poor products such as Excel, the first model that Hyundai introduced to the US market back in 1986, the company struggled until the early 2000s when the Korean company started to develop its own power plant and platforms to sever its reliance on the Mitsubishi technology, and invested heavily to deliver quality products with great design like the 6th generation Sonata. The Hyundai Group is now comprised of Hyundai with Genesis luxury brand, the high-performance N sub-brand, and the all-electric Ioniq sub-brand, along with Kia that has undergone a substantial change in its corporate identity that has helped in part to make Kia surpass Hyundai branded cars in the native Korean market. In the US, the Hyundai and Kia have combined to sell more than 150,000 units monthly for the first time in history, with the sales growth of 132.4% and 121.3% respectively versus the prior year. Even the Genesis branded vehicle saw a growth in sales of more than 150%, aided by the introduction of SUV models such as GV80 and GV70. In Europe, the Hyundai Group has now surpassed the BMW Group in sales to become the number 4 automaker in the continent. The strong sales of the Europe-only Kia Ceed, and the all-new Hyundai Tucson short wheelbase model contributed significantly to the sales explosion. And in the midst of this explosion lies another key factor, which is set to take the Korean company's progress even higher in the charts. We are of course talking about the arsenal of highly sophisticated electric vehicles that are poised to take the market by storm. In this first part of the series, we explore all electric vehicles that are slated to be launched within 1 or 2 years from the upstart Korean automaker. Before we begin, it will be wonderful if you can support this channel dedicated to Korean car news and rumors by subscribing and clicking on the alarm notification, as not to miss any of our great videos on everything Korean cars. Genesis GV60 dedicated electric crossover. Sister car to the phenomenal Ioniq 5 and Kia EV6 crossover, the GV60 will be the Korean luxury brand's very first dedicated electric car, based on the state-of-the-art EGMP or Electric Global Modular Platform, which is to underpin all of the Hyundai Group's dedicated electric cars to come from the Korean auto giant. Based on the same 800 volts charging architecture, GV60 will offer all of the Ioniq 5 and the EV6's high-tech features such as lightning-fast 18-minute charging time to 80%, V2L or vehicle-to-load that extracts electricity from the battery to supply 3.6 kilowatt of power that can charge a laptop, another EV, or power an entire house for up to 24 hours. Also offered is the Hyundai Group's trademark 12.3-inch dual panoramic LCD display with the augmented reality navigation. The navigation works in conjunction with the vehicle's Level 2 self-driving autonomy, which can be upgraded to Level 3 autonomy at later date via GV60's built-in OTA or over-the-air online update system. Also, GV60 will inherit the practicality of Ioniq 5 by adopting the living space concept that incorporates a long wheelbase and efficient interior layout, as well as the Kia EV6's sportiness in terms of its swoopy exterior design based on the Genesis Mint concept. On top of that, Genesis will add its own flair of high-tech features as the console-mounted crystal sphere, a shift-by-wire mechanism that controls the different drive modes. This innovative and futuristic system was first seen in the Genesis X concept, which was introduced just a few months ago as a design direction for the upcoming new Genesis products, including the elusive GT70 coupe that's also supposed to be an electric vehicle. The GV60 is to also feature the company's very first variable and adjustable rear spoiler to help the coupe-like body of the crossover to adhere to the road better at high speeds. As for the performance, it's to be powered by such power plants as the dual-motor 320 horsepower engine derived from the long-range Ioniq 5, as well as near 600 horsepower high-performance power plant derived from the Kia EV6 GT. Incorporating the disconnector actuator system or DAS that can separate or connect the motor and the drive shaft according to the driving situation, and freely switch between two-wheel drive and all-wheel drive driving methods to minimize unnecessary power loss and ensure efficient driving, the GV60 should be able to attain up to 270 to 300 miles of range and achieve 0 to 60 miles per hour in as quick as 3 seconds. The unveiling and the launching of the GV60 should take place in August 2021 in Korea. The North American launch should be in early 2022. The estimated starting price is $60,000, with the 600 horsepower top-of-the-line model reaching $80,000. Genesis electrified GV70 derivative electric crossover. GV70e or the electrified GV70 is the third electric vehicle to come from Genesis, after the electrified G80 and GV60. Sharing mechanicals with the electrified G80, the newest electric crossover is to offer a similar performance as the sedan. Like the sedan, the electrified GV70 comes with two motors front and rear, rated at 184 horsepower each to offer the full system power of 368 horsepower and a whopping 516 pound-feet of torque, capable of propelling the vehicle 0 to 100 kilometers or 62 miles per hour in under 5 seconds, driving all wheels. Although not based on the company's latest electric car exclusive eGMP platform, it offers similar features such as the DAS that efficiently switches between all-wheel drive and two-wheel drive for efficiency and maximum traction, V2L function that extracts power from the battery that can charge a laptop or another EV, and even over-the-air online update system. The highlight of the packaging will be the 800 volts charging system that could charge the vehicle to 80% in just 22 minutes, not quite fast as the record-setting Ioniq 5 eGMP's blazing 18 minutes, but easily beats the other 800 volts electric vehicles such as Porsche Taycan and Audi e-tron GT's 22.5 minutes. The exterior and the interior should remain near identical to that of the donor ICE GV70s, which is a great thing. The GV70 crossover offers one of the most stylish exterior and interior design in the industry, with the body that even crossover haters love, and the interior that puts Italian and British luxury cars that cost tens of thousands of dollars more to shame. In terms of the lineup hierarchy, the electrified GV70 is a notch higher than the GV60, with a bigger size and plushier interior. Accordingly, the starting price is estimated to be between $65,000 and $70,000. The GV70 derivative electric crossover is expected to be launched in late 2021 or early 2022, following the release of the smaller GV60 dedicated electric crossover. Hyundai Ioniq 5N high-performance crossover. After the release of the Genesis GV70, the next model to be released is the high-performance version of the Ioniq 5 crossover known as Ioniq 5N. Utilizing the similar powertrain as the awe-inspiring Kia EV6 GT's 576 horsepower dual-motor setup, the Ioniq 5N is likely to improve on the performance even further by outpacing EV6 GT's 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 3.5 seconds. As with all N models, the Ioniq 5N will be a hardcore sports car, with tweaking and modifying to squeeze out maximum performance by none other than Mr. Albert Biermann of the BMW M division fame. Owners will also enjoy additional performance components only reserved for the high-performance N cars, such as the sport bucket seats, race mode settings, exclusive wheels, and sticky performance tires. The expected release of the Ioniq N is after October of 2022, similar to the Kia EV6 GT. The price should be similar as well, at around $65,000. Hyundai Ioniq 6 dedicated electric sedan. After the success of the immensely popular Ioniq 5, the first dedicated electric sedan to come from Hyundai's exclusive EV sub-brand Ioniq is the Ioniq 6. Probably the most stylish model to come from Hyundai in recent years, with the swoopy coupe-like profile that redefines four-door sports car, the Ioniq 6 will be built on the same 800 volts eGMP architecture as the Ioniq 5, and utilize the same motor in the battery. However, unlike Ioniq 5 that offers two battery sizes that render the maximum range of between 225 to 240 miles in the standard range and 270 to 300 miles in long range depending on a single motor or dual motor configurations, the Ioniq 6 will only be available with the European Ioniq 5's long-range battery of 73 kWh, which is a bit smaller than North American battery size of 77.4 kWh. However, the range and the performance are expected to be very similar to Ioniq 5. With the 313 horsepower dual-motor all-wheel drive setup, the 0 to 60 miles per hour time is estimated at 5.2 seconds, while the 215 horsepower single-motor rear-wheel drive achieving 7.4 seconds for the same run. As with Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 6 will also come with a Level 2 self-driving autonomy comparable to Tesla's current autopilot, and it can be updated to the newer version of the technology via the vehicle's over-the-air or OTA online update system. The sleek electric sedan is rumored to be an early replacement for the struggling Sonata sedan, and is expected to be launched by Q2 2022, at the estimated starting price of under $50,000. This concludes the first part of the series in the upcoming Korean electric cars. Out of the vehicles discussed in the video, which model appeals to you the most? The luxurious and sporty GV60 dedicated electric crossover, the beautiful GV70 derivative electric crossover, the asphalt-tearing supercar Ioniq 5N, or the practical four-door coupe Ioniq 6 electric sedan? Please vote and share your views by following the link in the comments section. Thanks for watching AutoVision, your best source for the fastest Korean car news and rumors. And we have a favor to ask our loyal viewers. Although you might still be able to access our videos without subscribing to our channel, your support by subscribing and clicking the alarm bell will be very much appreciated. Your commenting and liking are also appreciated. We welcome any questions, suggestions, requests, and even criticisms to help us to improve. We try out best to respond to every one of your comments. See you next time with the latest Korean car news.